Hello students! Today we're looking at the K tongue. Most of the time when we start our instrument, our teachers and myself, I've emphasized how strongly we need to use a T sound. So for a moment, I would like us to try to just say ta 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 ta. Just say that to yourself. Ta 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 ta. And I want you to think about where the tip of your tongue is when you do that. It should be right behind your front teeth where it meets the gum. Right? So there's a little kind of borderline there. Tuh, 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 tuh. And that by and large is the technique that we use for tonguing our instrument. But today we're going to look at a slightly different way to look at this and something that becomes very handy as we get more advanced on the instrument. Okay, so we've practiced our t tonguing, our t sound tonguing. We're going to look a little bit at the k side of it. So just we're going to say ka 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 ka. Say that with me. Ka 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 ka. And if you're paying attention to your tongue, you're using the back of your tongue somewhere around this part, right? By saying k. We're still releasing the air. We're still doing it somewhat forcefully, but it's not with a T sound, it's with a K sound. K, 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 k. Now this is slightly harder to get a good sound coming out of our instrument, our brass instrument, than with a T tongue. But there are some advantages, and we're going to talk about that briefly. But first, I'm going to grab my trombone because my K tonguing is not as strong on my trombone as it is on the trumpet, because I'm a trumpet player. So maybe it's a good time for me to reevaluate and really go back to basics and look at some fundamentals of this technique. Okay, I've got my trusty trombone here. And what we're going to do, we're going to start on, for trumpets, this will be the note G. And if you're a trombone player, it'll be an F. And we're just going to play 4 quarter notes on the T sound. T, T. Now remember, the vowel sound is going to change depending on how high or low this is for you. So for you, it might be more like a T sound. For me, I'm going to go with T. That works good. So 4 T's. All right, and so what I would like to do is do the K tongue in the back of my mouth. K, 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 k. And I want it to sound the same as the T tonguing that I've just done. So I'm going to try k, k, and hopefully it sounds very close. Let's see. I think it sounded okay. I think I had a crack in there, but it wasn't quite as crisp and clean as my T tonguing. So now I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to try 4 T's. I'm going to take a little rest and then do 4 K's. 4 T's, 4 K's. Rest for a second. Now I'm definitely feeling it. It's very, very different for me to do the K tonguing than the T tonguing, especially on an instrument I'm a little bit less familiar with. So this is a good time for me as well to focus my energy on that K tongue. And what I'm finding is I've got to really force the K more than the T. The T is like t, t, and the K to sound good is more like a k. I'm really almost forcing it. And there's a reason for that in our physiology. Maybe you can ask me about that more in our follow-up session. But I'm going to try that again. I'm going to try 4 T's, and then my K's, I'm going to punch them just a little harder and see if I can't get a better quality sound. Yeah? Okay, so there I thought my quality was better. I didn't crack or have weird fumbles in the notes, but it might have been a little too harsh. So maybe I'm going to pull back just a hair to get that k to sound just like my T. I'm going to reduce the space between the T and the K, the 4 T's and the 4 K's for me, and you might do the same. 4 T's, 4 K's. Okay, so I think there was some improvement just in me taking the time to focus on this one technique. My K's probably still need a little work, but they weren't as hard as the last time. They weren't as kind of flimsy as before. They still felt strong to me though. So I encourage you to go ahead and pause the video and practice those 4 T's and the 4 K's, and we'll get back and talk about why this technique is important. So the K tongue is important for rapid fire tonguing passages. There are techniques you may have heard of called double tonguing and triple tonguing, and they take advantage of this concept of a K tongue in the back of our mouth. So for example, double tonguing, we're going T, K, or ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ka. Now, most of us, when we have to learn double tonguing or triple tonguing, we're just all of a sudden just have to start tonguing fast. And that's okay. That's how I learned too. I just had to start doing it, even though I didn't really know what I was doing and I wasn't looking at it in such detail. But it's important that they all sound the same. Ta, ka, ta, ka. They should all have the same quality coming out of the bell. And if they don't, it doesn't sound polished. And so all we're focusing on today is the quality of our K tongue, and can we get it just as polished as we have our T tongue? We practiced spent a lot of our time practicing on the T, and I think we don't spend enough time on the K to get a really good sound. So just as an example of what double tonguing is, I'm going to go ta, ka on that same note. That's G for trumpets or F for trombones. And I'm going to just kind of go back and forth a few times and see if they all sound the same. Ta, ka, ta, ka. Alright, that one wasn't too bad. Let's do another one. See, now I feel like my K it's not creating a crack, but it's not quite as firm as the T. So I'm going to try a few more. That's getting better, I think. So just being mindful of what's happening when I listen back and forth between a T and a K is very useful for me to improve my K tonguing on an instrument like the trombone that I'm less familiar with. Okay, on top of just getting a good quality K sound and matching it to our T sound, I believe very strongly it's more difficult to tongue in a crisp way when we play low notes than it is when we play high notes. So I'm going to start on some low notes here. This is a low C for the trumpet, a low B flat for the trombone, to, and this is really dropping the vowel sound, to, ka, to, ka. Let's try some of these, and we're going to go down the chromatic fingerings if you play the trumpet. So we're going from open to 2 to 1, etc. If you're on trombone, we're just adding a position each time. Okay, so we're going down chromatically. We'll try maybe 4 different notes. I'll do 4 on that first note, and then I'll change position on fingerings. We'll go play 4 more. So let's try this together. 4 C's for trumpets or B flats for trombones. Ready? Go. Rest. 2. Next one. Go. Rest. 2, 3, 4. One more. 2. Ready? Go. Yeah, so that for me that was actually very useful, just spending 5 minutes or so thinking critically about how my K tongue sounds, especially on an unfamiliar instrument. trying to match the tone between my T and my K, trying the low notes, which are exceptionally difficult in my opinion. So for follow-up students, we're going to spend time with this K tongue. We're going to isolate it. Make sure you have some easy songs, because don't care about fingerings or notes or values or anything like that today. We're just looking at our K. So go back to the early pages of the Red Book if you have it, or if you're in the Arbenz book, the first few pages has some great exercises we're going to go over, just practicing a good quality K sound together. All right, we'll see you next time.